Hi guys, thanks for joining me for another mobility and strength workout. This is actually one I'm using with my aerial students currently to help retrain hip flexors, active splits, and things like that. You may want a wall nearby to hold, but otherwise it's very good balance work. So we're going to start with the hips nice and square. You're going to take arms out in front of you, kind of like a Frankenstein position. You're going to bring one leg up, point the toes, keep the knees straight, lower it back down. We're just doing a Frankenstein in place. You want to work on keeping the quads really tight, pointing the toe, and engaging the core. So I'm actually leaning my upper body back just a little bit as I kick the leg up. It's less about how high I go and more about keeping both of my knees really straight, making the long lines through my legs. And I'm training my legs, my hip flexors, my core, everything towards splits. All right, we're gonna do the same thing, but to the side now. When I take my arms to the sides, they're a little bit in front of my body. My leg is going to go this direction as well, not straight out to the side, okay? So, legs are turned out. I'm gonna take my arms a little bit out to my side, keep my hips square, and bring it back down. So when I say square, I mean that I'm not going like this in order to lift my leg. I don't want my hip to come up, just my leg. And it is totally okay to find these very challenging. My leg is slightly turned out, my knee is straight, my toes are pointed, I'm coming up for a hold and down. And when I hold it, I'm trying to reach it a little bit longer. 2 more. You can see my chest stays level the whole time. All right, shake your arms out, take a moment. So the next part actually adds a little bit of ease in some ways, a little bit of more challenge in other ways. I'm gonna turn back to the side for you. I'm gonna start with what in ballet would be called a développé. It's more modern dancey though, because we're staying in parallel for the front ones. Arms can be wherever. I prefer hands to hips for this one. So I'm going to take my knee up. Now what's nice about the bent position is that this actually allows me to move a little bit more range at my hip with slightly less work. Keep the core tucked in. I'm going to keep the knee this high, straighten it out, and bring it down. As I straighten that leg out, I'm also thinking of straightening my standing leg a little bit more. We're not rebending it. We're trying to train that end range action so that my leg gets used to holding and potentially lifting to that new height every time. So what's nice is we're working what's called the eccentric action, the harder position on the way down. Over time, when I lift my leg up, it's going to allow me to lift to that new position. 2 more. Both knees straight at the top of the action. All right, shake it out a little. You should be feeling your quads. If you're feeling a lot in your hip flexors, chances are you need to give them a little bit more stretch. Shouldn't feel super crunchy here if you're using your core. You can go back to my aerialist abs exercises to help you train the core to stabilize this position a little bit more versus doing it entirely here. I used to feel all the work here when I did any action like this. It doesn't have to be like that. I promise it gets better over time. It just takes a little bit of work. All right, time to do our side position. Remember, the hips aren't going to hike. Hands can be wherever you would like. I'm going to take my knee, turn it out. It's still slightly forward, not straight out to the side. I'm going to lift it higher, keeping my hips level, kick it straight to come down. Other side, kick, straight to come down. Right? So you can really clearly see in my side position how having it bent allows me to bring it a little higher. You'll find as you start training the développé position that as you, it's hard to think and talk and do at the same time, that as you lift, you might not be able to fully straighten. You might get a little higher then you can straighten. That's okay. It's okay to give yourself something to push for. That's how we grow. This is number 8. We're going to 10. Keep the chest as level as you can. Give those quads a nice squeeze at the top. Last time. And down. All right. So not only have you worked and strengthened your standing leg alignment, your balance, but also you are working your active splits when you do these, which is really nice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate it. You can also find me on Instagram, Vegan Circus Girl, and hit me up in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see. Okay, guys? Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.